I was reading my Bible, The Gift of Singleness. And all of a sudden, I felt some wind, something blew in my ear. Really, we met through mutual friends, and from that point on, we got to know each other. And it was actually a couple of days before 9/11. She left, I believe, left New York City, September 9th. And that Tuesday, 9/11 hit. And that morning, I called her up in Arizona just to make sure she's okay.
I was thinking, I should be calling you. Like, I should have known all right. So, yeah, like Kirby said, I'm from Chandler, Arizona. I have one sister, and my mother is in Arizona currently. Kirby comes from a family, he's the oldest of four, and his mom and dad are also in San Antonio. So both of our families are in the truth. I was raised in the truth. I got baptized at the age of 17. And Kirby was 16 when he got baptized, but not raised in the truth. It's a pretty interesting story. As the sister said, we should never say we have an interesting story, but it is.
I played high school football, which was one of my favorite sports growing up. And I never would forget when I got the truth. Of course, I wanted to do more Jehovah's service. I loved what I saw, and I wanted to get baptized. So when the brothers went over the questions for me, they told me after about the second session that I was making it home. They just realized that I had played football, that I was playing football. So they basically said, you know what, we're going to put this on hold. You have to make a decision on what you want to do. Go ahead and play the sport. If you get baptized, you get baptized and quit the sport. So for me, it wasn't a tough decision. I knew I loved Jehovah, and that I'm going to give this up to serve Jehovah. So I got baptized, and I didn't tell my coach, I didn't tell my father, who wasn't in the truth at the time, what my decision was. So I'll never forget that summer, I walked into my coach's office right before training camp, and I basically told him I'm not going to report for training camp this year. And he said, oh, really, why? Well, as you know, I've been studying the Bible, and I got baptized as one of Jehovah's Witnesses. And as a witness, we're followers of Christ. And when it comes to this sport, you'll never see Jesus Christ on a football field trying to break necks of other players or being engaged in locker room talk, because that's not fitting for a Christian. He says, Jesus don't care what you do, and if he was here on earth, he'll be on my team. So at that point, I realized, you know what, I'm going, and I'm not coming back. So after a few days, then I went home and told my dad, which was the toughest part of my decision, because he was an avid fan and he supported all of my games. So I told him, and he basically said, whatever I want to do, it's my life, you make the decision. So I was happy that was over. But in the course of the year, because I still had a love for the game, I would go to the games, my high school game. And one game I went to, and my team was losing. I want to say my team. My high school team was losing 45-0 at halftime. Okay? Now, I'm on the bench, and I'm eager to kind of get on. No, I can't help them out. I'm a Christian witness. I can't do that. But at halftime, if you know anything about sports, usually they last about, 10 minutes, 15 minutes? Well, in the locker room, I noticed that the team didn't come out until about an hour later. So the other team came out, but my school didn't come out until an hour later. And I noticed half of the players didn't come back onto the field. It wasn't until that night when I learned in the locker room, the coach got so upset at the players, he took his clipboard and he threw it down ricocheted off the wall and hit the quarterback right in the head. Okay. Now, I usually sit here next to the quarterback when I was playing. Hit the quarterback right in the head, and needed to get stitches. Coach got fired. Several years later, came to find out, and I don't want to relate the two together because I don't know the specifics, but the quarterback went ahead and coached a minor league baseball team. Just a couple of years ago, I read in the newspaper that the quarterback, same person, got hit in the head with a ball and died, just like that. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, something must have rattled in that early on. The two must have been connected or something. The coach got fired. This is going back to the football. The coach got fired, and from that incident, I tell myself constantly that we make so many decisions in life, and sometimes we're just this close to making the wrong decision. And that could have been me sitting there, the clipboard stuck to my forehead, but it wasn't, because I made the decision to go the other way. And in life, growing up, it's amazing the decisions that we make. We can either go to the left or we can go to the right. And if you do things Jehovah's way and follow his direction, then things will work out for you. But if you're just this close and you're on the edge and you can't figure out what you want to do, and if you just make that false move, things may not turn out for you. So that helps me to appreciate, to follow Jehovah's direction, follow his lead. He set goals in his direction. And when you do, then blessings are restored.
Looked like you had something you wanted to say. So tell us what's exciting going on at Bethel now, and of course you can tell us. I know there's certain things you probably can't tell us.
Well, I agree. I'm sure everyone heard, it's also on the website, that the 117 complexes. So those 5 buildings, including 90 Sands, the residence building, is sold. That's where Kirby and I, we currently live, the 90 Sands building. So the 117 complex is where the creamery used to be. That was empty. The only departments over there were like the laundry and smaller departments. So all those departments will eventually be moved out. And then also are the buildings that say Read God's Word, the Holy Bible Daily, which is known all over the city. People drive past that building every day. And so now that sign won't be there. So we're just anxious to see what the response is going to be from the people. Many years ago, morning worship, I can recall where Brother Loesch was giving an example about that. Read God's Word, the Bible Daily sign. He says people drive past there. Sometimes people's curiosity gets the best of them. They say, you know, I want to go in and see what that's all about. He says, you never know who might be your brothers and sisters just because of reading the sign. So we'll see what the effect will be. Once that sign is gone and once we leave Brooklyn, it's going to be a big change in the city. So we're currently waiting to find out what our assignment will be, if we'll be moved to another complex, Pack Center, Wallkill, or Warwick. But it's exciting times, just not to be in Brooklyn, but to be a part of this organization now. Everyone here is part of history. You think about things that have happened, changes of meetings, the Watchtower, the website. It's so exciting to be a witness and to be able to participate. So Jehovah's Chariot is really moving, but we just have to hold on and stay with it. So look forward to the future and what that holds for us. Maybe one day you might see us in Kansas.
Which begs the question, will there, last time that worked, we turned off the lights, and some will go to Warwick, and then perhaps Tuxedo, and that area, maybe some Wallkill and Patterson. Is there any talk about maybe there being a downsizing like there was back in 2006, where maybe more Bethelites will come out to the field?
Well, they have started reassignments in the past month or so. We've heard of some of the Bethelites being reassigned, but it's with all the excitement. Because we know the most important thing that you can do is to be in the ministry and preach. There's so many people that still need to know about God's kingdom and His promises and what holds out. So we, like I said, we don't know what the future holds, but we don't know how many will be sent out. We don't know where everyone will go. It's just kind of like a day-to-day thing for us too.
Keep in mind, we need people, good brothers and sisters in Riverside.
Yeah. And also, just to piggyback on what Pi mentioned, back in 2005, when the reassignment started, the question was, especially when there were selected ones who got reassigned, why me? Why do I have to go? So it was an adjustment for these friends. Now the question is, well, why not me? I'm ready to go. Here I am, sent me, you know. Truly, we enjoy our Bethel service, but now Jehovah is basically helping us to see the big picture. That it's not about just one building or two buildings. It's not about Bethel service or where it's about the field ministry. And that's what Bethel is all about, promoting kingdom interests. So when we have a part in the experience that we receive at Bethel and being able to share it with others in the field ministry, that's something that's very valuable to us and even the congregation. At this point, there were, since last month, 58 reassignments already, 42 special pioneers, and the rest are regular pioneers. So we feel that it's going to be more in the future.
Any other thing you would like to say before we open it up to any questions?
I just want to, especially for our younger ones, we see a lot of visitors here. Many of our friends are in the regular pioneer work. Even the young ones here in the Riverside congregation. Don't get complacent with your service to God. Always think about doing more for Jehovah. Psalms 34 verse 8 comes to mind. Taste and see that Jehovah is good. There's a lot of stuff to do. A lot of things to do in Jehovah's service. But we have to taste it. You know, and I like using this illustration. You can look at the Food Network channel and you can really enjoy the food that they're preparing. And you know, you're staring at the TV and your mouth is just watering and it's wow. But you can't really taste it unless you cook it yourself and discover how good it is. You can hear other people tell you how Regular Pioneer is or how Bethel Life is or missionary work, special pioneering work. You can hear people tell you that, but you won't really get the sense of it until you move forward and taste it. Once you realize that this is something that's good, then you see Jehovah's fingerprint on it, and then He can give you more blessings as you continue to do more in the service.
Thank you very much. Any questions?